Alrighty, now looks like we've got some idle dwarves around here. Hopefully our dwarf over here, let's see what euphoric, satisfied at work, annoyed after drinking without a goblet, cup, or mug. So that is one thing we can remedy. So we're gonna go over here, workshop. We're gonna go over to crafts, and we're gonna create a little craft workshop. So this is that fourth kind of workshop we want to kind of build early on. The mechanics, I mean, if you're not too worried about cages, you don't have to worry about that, but there we go. We got a craft dwarf up. Now we're gonna come over here, rock, and we're gonna create a couple of mugs. This way our dwarves are drinking out of mugs. And that should be all set up there. And I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna set up a couple more tests for these dwarves to do. So let's create a lot more beds. Where is this? Bed right there at the top. I'll queue up another, I believe 9 is the amount that is queued up right there. And we will let them get to work. Oh, let's see. Our miner's over here doing that. Alright. Ooh, perfect. Our yak gave birth to a calf. Just need to make sure these guys don't get attacked by the local wildlife. Talking about that, let us go to other and let us see what we have. Oh, we have a bunch of ravens on the map again. Good. Nothing to worry about as far as enemies wise. So we're pretty safe right now with these yaks over here. Let's see. We have got a female yak calf that is perfect. Lets us get milk out of these guys, and also we can get fur and they can breed some more. Now I can unpause and let these guys get back to work. Maybe keep a couple more mechanisms for more cage traps. But in the meantime, we can actually set up more of this area for the enemies to go through. So we want them coming down to here. There's going to be, this is where I'm going to put up a gate. Or actually, let's make a little bit of hallway first. Then set up that. And then we will set up our place for our dwarves to kind of battle in. Make this decently large. So this is where we expect to fight that last bit of enemies. And we will get these guys to kind of wander around here. Get that actually. Bring this up and staircase up a level. Now, one of the things I want to also do here is kind of similar to this, another spot where enemies will kind of get petered off and we can keep them kind of separate from each other so we can fight them as far as less and less. So this will be our main kind of hallway right here for them to kind of walk towards. You can go down here and put a little staircase down to this next level. Well, we'll make it all the way down to here. So, and then for this, kind of walk them this way, and then we'll do that same thing we did last time. Gonna create that little back and forth, keep them just distracted for a while. And as you can see, I'm kind of clicking through stuff. I can hotkey and this stuff, but just to show you what I am actually clicking on, that is what I am doing right there, and then make this 3 wide. Put another bridge on this side. Section off that area, so we'll have one bridge here, one bridge here, and then another bridge right there. Now these enemies can come down here, and there's our final hallway into what we will have as our battle zone. If we need to, we can create a couple more areas. I'll probably put another bridge right here just to also section off more enemies, but for now, that is what I want. And in the meantime, up until I can get stuff set up, I will actually not have them dig this right here. That will be my cutoff until I can get some was it walls, bridges all set up and all my levers. But there we go. We'll unpause and we'll let them continue. I'm with these guys. For them to lay eggs, we need to set up some nest boxes. That is over here in our Craft Dwarf workshop. So I'll select add, do a rock, and then down here some nest boxes. I'll queue up a few just to have that already. And there we go. One of the other things is we can actually have a honey industry. Let's see if we can find any bees on this map. We may or may not. We don't want to wait too long to get that set up because then any kind of beehive might end up petering out and we might not have bees on this map anymore. So for now, I really can't see any, but if we get it set up and we get our beekeeper set up, we can actually have him so that he is doing his bee stuff. And I'll probably have that set up right over here in this bottom left kind of area. And one thing we need to do for that is have a hive. So I'll create a nice little rock hive right here, have my dwarves continue to work. One thing, these are taking significantly long for them to make is because all the stone is very far away. We can remedy that by digging out a little section right here. We're going to have a stockpile for stone. And the reason we want to do that is our dwarves that are standing around, they can come over here and they can drop off stone instead of standing around. And we can actually have a couple wheelbarrows designated to this so that they actually bring them quicker instead of walking around just carrying them. They have a wheelbarrow to use. So I'll create a couple of wheelbarrows. Whoops. Come back up here. Good, our dogs are doing good over there. And I will probably also want to bring those dogs inside. Last thing to do, there's nothing left in the wagon, and I will remove this so that our dogs will start actually coming and they will probably chill in this meeting area. So as soon as that is destroyed, those dogs will no longer consider that as kind of a meeting area or animals, and hopefully they will come in. If not, I'll just designate a pen for them and keep them in there, which I will have right down here across from our guinea hens. Create a couple entranceways right there. Looks like we also need to build a couple of doors just to make sure that these guys don't escape. Although they do stay in there, but if I have a new batch of chickens, they will try to escape and I'll just have to redesignate them to this area. That's the one thing. If an animal is born in a zone, it stays in that zone, except for if it is born from eggs. Then it will try to escape and wander about. But for now, this is where I kind of want to build the doors on this side because I don't want them to escape. I'm not too worried about over here. Let's check out our doors. Let me zoom out a little bit. Get a little bit, maybe not that far zoom. Get a better view of everything. So you can see these dwarves are working diligently over here, digging out our entranceways. Got our nice big, our water pool designated, our dugout right here. We've got this built up right here, and this is where I want to set up that floodgate. Where is that? It should be under construction, but maybe machines and mechanisms, I believe. Yes, floodgate. And I'll set that floodgate up right here. So our dwarf will come over here and they will set this up so that we can have access to fresh water year round. There he is. Just installed that. Now this will stay closed up until I open it, but to do that I need to link it to a lever. So one of the things I like to do, so I'll have another bedroom floor right here. The bedrooms, and then 35. This is where I'll have all my access to that water. So it won't be anything impressive. I'll just have a little hallway and I'll have one of my levers right here. So as soon as they'll get that dug out, that'll be all set. And then below that, this is where I'm going to have a lot of my crafts dwarves. As you can see, we got some new migrants in. You can actually watch them as they come in. Got a farmer, that's really good. He'll help deal with our fields over here, planting and harvesting. And create tests, brew some more drinks from plants. Get that all going. So it doesn't look like we got many new migrants in. If you check in early enough, you can see we got a fisher dwarf, ooh, a child. So this you can actually see relationships. So that fisher dwarf is its mother, or is their mother. We got farmer, thresher. So children dwarves don't really do anything at all until they get to a certain age. They do small tests. They will actually go and harvest different things, haul stuff, but as far as actual work goes, they really don't do any of that. Now I'm gonna designate some more areas to be grabbed for harvesting as far as plants wise outside. Nothing to catch. Oh, that is one of the things I don't want any of my dwarves to be doing quite yet is fishing. Because then I have to worry about setting up a fishing area. For now, I'm sorry, my fisher dwarf, I will find some stuff for you to do. One of the other things I'm going to check is see if there's any warriors in this new group. So come down here and actually dictates, okay, my fisher dwarf is a competent axe dwarf. That might be one of the people I want to use. Actually, these three people, I'm going to have them all join my squad. So a couple hammer dwarves and a axe dwarf. Now that we've kind of got a little force built up, I'm going to actually set up their schedule. So what I want them to do is train constantly. So I can come down here, edit this, and be like, hey, I don't want all these dwarves to be training. I only want certain dwarves to be training. I'm done, edit that. You can do monthly schedule, and you can actually change it. So, hey, I don't want them training during this month. Whoops. So I can copy this train and I can paste it here, or I can copy this off duty and paste it there. Have it set up a schedule there. So for now, these guys are going to actually go down and they're going to start training constantly. So good, we got them in. Hopefully they don't have to deal with the rain much longer. This place does get hit with rain quite a bit. Oh, that's just a crow. Not crows can't be caught. Ravens can be, however. So if we can, a raven is what we're looking for, or any kind of animals. But for now, we are all set there. And I need to work on creating more bedrooms for these dwarves. Let's get some more beds in here. Let's get some more rooms designated to be dug out. We'll designate this slightly smaller rooms, just so we can, well, they'll be longer but smaller. Get that all set up there. Create my giant pathway this way, and I will have this be my little, I'll do another layer of rooms right here before I do another hallway. So one thing with bedrooms is dwarves will sleep in the smallest rooms. You can have a room that size and they will sleep in it. I like to make them bigger, give them nice grand bedrooms. They tend to be a little bit happier in the late game with that kind of stuff. So we'll designate some more rooms to be dug out for that. And hopefully our dwarves will start moving into some of these rooms. So they'll start bringing stuff into here. Expedition leader over there. Let's see if we have any dwarves that are good at being our bookkeeper. We got that novice, our manager, still that minor. Which at this point I might have. Let's just so we can get this up and running. Get bookkeeper and our manager be the same dwarf. So this is to designate right here on this left side of the bookkeeper how accurate the counts are. So you can see in that top part where it says stock amount display. So if I want it to the perfect amount, I want it 1. But if I don't want it as accurate, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 being the least accurate, 1 being the, 5 being the highest accuracy, 1 being the least. So I'll have him do 5, but you can see over here, he needs a meager study for both of these. So that is what this whole area is over here. For a meager study, we need a table and a chair. Now, I will also have him have his own dining room. Not absolutely needed, but I like to have anyone in a noble position to have that extra little bit of comfort. And we will also make a bed for him, a bedroom over here. So for here, we want this on this left side, the office area. So this is going to be his office. We're going to have a dining hall, but this dining hall is going to be designated specifically to him. Although it says overlapping, so we'll probably have to decrease that. Bedrooms don't mind too much, but looks like offices and oops, let's go back down to here. Let's repaint this zone. Let's get rid of this little bottom part so there's no overlap, but except perfect. And then finally his bedroom over here. Oh, oops. Cancel. Bedroom. Oops, I gotta select this. That's why I'm messing up. I don't want to erase. I want to create, and he will have his own bedroom. So where's my mason, manager, doctor, miner? So it looks like he's already claimed a bed, and I'm going to come over here and undesignate whichever bed he's claimed. This one. So I'll remove that assignment, and I will come over here, and he will have this one. Now this last area, not sure what I'm going to do with that. I might build up some walls and make this a bedroom for someone else, but there we go. We've got that all set up. If we hit N, should be working on that. He doesn't have a study yet because I never designated that as his study. So he's got his own dining hall, bedroom, office. Now it should show up, and he should start getting to work here soon. Now with the manager thing, we can actually come over here to, I believe, work orders. Yep, I can create a new work order, and I want beds. I want to make beds, and I want these to have a condition. So if I have less than 10 beds, amount of beds available is less than 10, I want this to go off. So that is there on that. Restart if completed. Conditions check daily. So he'll check that, and if this is less than 10 beds, he'll set up a queue to make more beds. So that is one of the great things about having a manager. And for now, he'll do that. If I find another dwarf that has a better skill for that, I will make him do my manager, but I'm going to work on setting up some more bedrooms for all these new dwarves and get them all situated. Except one thing I need to make sure I do is also create a task for doors, rock doors. Keep creating these, and I can actually set up the bedrooms even before they're finished mining. Doesn't really matter to take into account for that. So like this, I can come over here. That's whoops. Say, let's see that. Once he digs out that last area, oh, it looks like I was wrong on that. Yeah. Create bedrooms all throughout here. There is plenty of space for all you dwarves. There we go. Last one. Oops, cancel. I want to include that little edge right there. And I want to put beds in all these. Now with that task, he will, when he's doing his managing thing, he will actually set up more tasks to be made up here at the carpenter thing. So as soon as you can see right here, this task came from a work order, so he's going to start making more beds because of that work order. One of the other things I want to do is set up a task for doors too, just so I can always have doors through these dwarves. Whoops, doors is P, B, P, R. Let's just get a whole bunch. It doesn't really matter what kind of doors these guys get. If you want to be making sure every dwarf gets the same color on the same floor, or you always want it out of the same kind of rock, you can designate that in the work order also. So I'll show you that. I'll create a new task. Let's do rock door. Now right here you can actually select what kind of material you want. So say I want shale doors, I can click shale or whatnot, but I really don't mind what kind of doors. I do want that to be made every single time there's less than 10, however. So once there's less than 10 doors, he will start making them. As you can see, we don't have any more doors, so he's going to start getting onto that as soon as he checks. Alright, let's check down here. There, we've got our place set up. Now it is time to set up our first lever. So this will be right here. This will be for our floodgate. So our Fisher Dwarf looks like he's working on that. We gotta bring down a rock mechanism. Our dwarves are sparring. So we can actually see the whole list of all the different things they are doing when they're sparring. So the hammer dwarf bashes the militia captain in the left upper leg with his silver warhammer, lightly tapping the target. Our dwarves don't get damaged while doing this, but it does help build up their skills in all those different aspects. And one thing I want to do to kind of get these dwarves all kind of situated, I want to create a training axe for that one dude. And then I will need a couple more hammers for those hammer dwarves. So I will work on creating that. What is it? That mine? Well, our smelting area. So I'm going to do that right here at the very bottom. So to create a nice little big thing, I like to do 3, skip 1, 2, 3, skip 1. Oh, whoops. There we go. So that's enough space for 1, 2, 3, 4 different workshops. Create a nice little path over here. Actually, put it 1 higher. That way, if I dig up this, it's not right into it. Then I want to create kind of those open ways pathing for the dwarves. And you see right here, those beds have all been made. So that work order has been fulfilled. And now it's just going to sit there until we are less than 10 beds, and then he'll check it every single day. And if we need it, he'll get it all set in stone. So our miner dwarf has already come down here and started digging out this area. I don't need him digging out that quite a bit or that yet. I want him getting this spot right off the bat. So, whoops. So once he digs out that first thing, so one of the first things we need to do when it comes to smelting, we got 3 different workshops we need to work with. First, there 2 of them are going to be under furnaces, so we need a wood furnace so we can start smelting that wood. I'm going to use it out of those blocks, easier for these guys to carry. Next thing I'm going to do is workshop, furnace, and I'm going to have a smelter so they can smelt that using those same blocks. And then finally, I'm going to do a workshop, and I am going to do an actual metal smith. Get that all set up. My shale blocks. Come back up here. I forgot I need to designate this as a stockpile. And this is going to be for any kind of stone and bars and stone. But I want to customize that because I don't want any metallic stone. Whoops. So I don't want any of that economic stones. I don't need any of that. I just need plain old stone. So any kind of stone will be brought up here right now. Also, what I can do here, whoops, is I can designate how many wheelbarrows are going to this, or bins or barrels, depending on the item. So I want 3 wheelbarrows, so I've got a couple right here. So my dwarves will grab that wheelbarrow, start heading down, grab some stone, and start hauling it up. That way those crafting dwarves don't have to walk so far to get to it. But there we go. That is kind of how to start up your first little industry. Now I need to create some charcoal. So this is very important. So this is where we need plenty of wood. So I'm going to make plenty of charcoal, and I'm going to actually have this also be one of my main guy's tasks. So create another work order right here. Do charcoal. So for this, I want, oops, no, wrong one. This is where I want. So I want, keep a, whoops, go down back to this, right here. I want 20 charcoal, and I want it, whenever we have less than 10, I want him to be making more. Now, this is pretty much a full-time job, so I'm going to come over here and find a dwarf that really isn't doing anything. Woodworker, Fisher, let's see. You are not one of my combat dwarves, I don't believe. Oh. Yep. So this Fisher dwarf, his skills, oh, beekeeper. I might have him be my beekeeper, actually. Let's see if we can find another one. So my Thresher Dwarf, are you in the military? No, you are not. Let's see what kind of skills you have. Planter, that's good. Carpenter. Social. So I'll just make you my main dwarf for getting that wood. So I need to come over here. Wood burner. Whoops. Wrong thing. Sorry. Miner. Keep that miner. I like the caps on that. Now I'm going to add a work detail right here. And this will be my wood burner. I'm going to come over here and select wood burning. It's going to be under actually the farming kind of section. Select done, and he will be my Thresher Dwarf, will be my wood burner. Hey, love.
Hey.
Thank you. And then we will continue on, and he will start getting that stuff all kind of smelted down into charcoal. So here he is. There's his test. He's going to start hauling wood down here, and we're going to start getting the first bit of charcoal. We need charcoal to smelt down anything. So we have got a couple different ores out there. I believe the tetra, where is it? There's our first bit of charcoal. And as you can see now, it starts lighting up a whole different amount of different things. Now we've got ore right here. Make coke from coal and lignite. So these are both coal items. So we can actually make coal from coal. So I'm going to designate those couple things. And then finally, I'm going to also create one for magnetite. So this I know is one that contains iron. So I'm going to queue that up, and I want them to smelt down as much as they can. Now let's see which dwarf is doing that. This is my miner dwarf. I really don't want him to be doing that. So got a couple of hammer doors, my axe dwarf, my doctor, got my thresher doing his stuff. I might actually have him also be my smelter. So have him start working at that. Let's do add a new work detail. Smelter. Now I'll select that and come all the way down right here. This is our metal smithing, and I'm going to have him do furnace operating. So that is working that furnace, and now whenever he has a chance, he will either be cooking up that coal or working the smelter. So make this easy, I'm going to create another hotkey right here. Let's do metal smithing area. Now I want it to be centered on here, so now F3 will bring me right down to here. Oh, one of the other things I did not designate for that is I want only the selected to be doing these things. Now my thresher also. So my mason and my mechanic are doing those. So expedition leader, he is also my planter, which I can also have this fishery worker doing that. And then I want him also. Let's see if I got that hive all set up. Oh, not set up, but built. I believe I do. So under here, it's not going to, I believe it's going to be under workshop, farming, and then hive right here. So we'll kind of create a nice little area over here. We got our yaks over here. We got this, and I'll have this be right there. Select all this wood to be cut down. Keep it nice and clean over here. One of the things I want to do also is start setting up kind of walls around our livestock. So you can kind of see this is the designated area I have for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this zone a little bit bigger. Let them kind of wander around a little bit more. And then I will have walls all around here. I'll get rid of these slopes and I'll put a roof over top of them. But for now, let's do construction and we can build some walls. So, whoops, want to see how far up? To right there. Okay. Build, construction, wall. So I want them up to about right there. And I want these all out of those shale blocks. This is why I started having those being built up. And now you can see I've kind of started getting this wall. I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to leave a little space for the door. Whoops. Right there. This is also going to be over that shale block. And then finally, construction walls right there. Now that that wall's built up, you can't build a door next to empty space, but you can build it right next to any kind of wall. So I'm going to build a door now. Put it right there. I'm going to put a shale door. So now that these guys are somewhat safe, last thing I got to do, get rid of all these slopes. And then we can start working on our roof area also. So that is also under construction. I'll just build a floor. This is where a huge amount of your blocks will go. So I'll just kind of start kind of designating that area. BNF. Whoops. BNF. And then get these areas all kind of sectioned off. And as you can see, I am blowing through the blocks I have. So do that across. Keep going with my shale blocks. Oops. Little misclick right there. Nothing we can't handle. Now that I've got pretty much that all set up, I'm gonna start getting this a little bit bigger. You see I need 45 of this. I've only got 20, so I'll have to hold off until they are done making more shale blocks. So one thing we can do, we can actually add a stockpile to link to this. So I want you to only take from this spot. So select it, whoops, take from. So I want him to take from this stockpile. So instead of walking all the way around to grab whatever block or wherever thing he's grabbing it from, he'll just come over here and he'll grab it from this stone stockpile. One thing I want to check for out is this stockpile. Looks like we got plenty of bins over there, but most of them are already being used, so I'm gonna have to set up a handful more bins to be used or to be created. And I will actually come down here to work order and I will just designate it. Give me some more wooden bins. Wooden bins are good because all the rest of the stuff is kind of heavy, but wooden bins are on the lighter side. I'll make 30 of them. That should be more than plenty. And as you see, he's already all locked in here. So this is all passable. I can make it forbidden so that if we get attacked, if I make it forbidden, enemies will not try to go in there. Dwarves won't also try to go in there. But got a nice big area for our yaks. So we won't designate this hive for gathering projects. So you just select a hive and we want them to install a colony. So hopefully our dwarf goes out there, finds a colony of bees and brings it back, and we can actually start getting this bee, our honey making area set up. We use that for making mead and also wax. So that's not really a necessary thing. It's kind of a little secondary thing. You don't need it at all, but I like to have as many industries as possible. Let's see, let's check out our mining dwarves. Where are they at? I'll come down here and it looks like they're sleeping. This guy is building. We can actually make it so that he does not build. So we'll add a new work detail. Make this. Let's go all the way down the bottom. Wall and floor construction. Select that. Hit my done and be. So we can designate who we want as the builders. But what I want to do is I want to make everyone except for my miners be builders. So you guys can all get to work doing that and let my mining dwarves do what they need to do. So give water, no water source right now, so that is unfortunate, but we should be good for now. Once this all thaws out, we can get this room down here all set up. Now I want to clear out all this stone so I don't really waste it. I mean, you don't have to because you'll find more than plenty. But for now, whoops, that is burrows. We'll go over burrows in a later video. I want a garbage dump right here. And then what I want to do also is, whoops, come down here and I want to designate all this for dumping. So I'll select that. Select my item designated for dumping. Now these dwarves will grab all these items and they'll bring them right up to this little spot right here. Ooh, looks like our dwarf has gotten really good at making wooden items and he's made a masterpiece willow bin. So that will significantly start raising the value of a lot of our stuff around here. Looks like some of our dwarves are starting to be on the grumpier side. Let's see. Oh, one of our dwarves got appointed to the position of sheriff. So he's just kind of going to go around and help deal with any kind of problems. Let's see. Why are you uneasy? Doesn't feel good about dining in a very good dining room. Doesn't feel anything at work. So he is kind of our planter, beekeeper. Usually dwarves, they like to have some kind of craft kind of skill going, so I might also designate him as kind of like a crafting person. And he'll actually start getting enjoyment out of his work. But that dining area, we need to start setting up that. So what we want to do is we want to create a bunch of rock tables, and I want all these rock tables to be made out of. We got plenty of shale. We'll do 30 rock tables, and we'll also do rock thrones. I want these ones also out of shale, like that nice kind of color it. Whoops, I don't need any kind of specific thing on that right now, but I'll make 30 rock thrones also. Let's come down here to our lever. We need to actually link this now to that floodgate. So click a building to link it with. So I want to link it with our floodgate right here. And one of our dwarves will go now and link those two. Once they're linked, I can pull that, have one of my dwarves pull that lever and it'll open up the floodgate or close it. So once that's linked up, I am free to open up this little path right here and water can start kind of gushing through. But like I said, I want to try to clear out this area down here. My dwarves have a lot to work to do. And we can actually start with this as our new dining hall. So I want to select the whole huge area right here. Doing a little saving. And honestly, it is now springtime. My dwarves are working diligently, and I am going to put a cut in the video now. Well, as soon as I hit accept on this. But thank you for joining me again for part 3 of how to kind of beginner's guide for Dwarf Fortress. This will hopefully help you manage your dwarves. I like to go grand scale, but there's plenty of other guides out there for everyone else. But for now, that's all set up, and thank you for joining me. Hope you all have a great day.